We are digging into a troubling report suggesting the White House allowed thousands of convicted criminals back onto the streets. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials have confirmed to Fox News the release of some 36,000 illegal immigrants back in 2013, pending their deportation proceedings after being convicted of some serious crimes. Among them, 193 homicide convictions, including one willful killing of a public official with a gun, 426 sexual assault convictions, and just over 16,000 convictions for drunk or drugged driving. J. Christian Adams is a former DOJ attorney, legal editor for PJ Media, and author of Injustice, Exposing the Racial Agenda of the Obama Justice Department. All right, good to see you tonight. What do you make of these numbers, which ICE isn't denying?
They're frightening, Shannon. Just think about it. That was only last year. That doesn't even count other years. 193 murderers, arsonists, rapists, burglars, carjackers released onto the streets by the Department of Homeland Security. It's a stunning fact. It's one that should give everybody pause and let Congress know, for example, these guys just don't want to enforce immigration laws. They release these people to the general public, many of whom they'll never find again, that they will never be able to catch them to ultimately deport them.
All right, so we heard from ICE, not denying the numbers, but saying, listen, a lot of these people are released under restrictions, GPS monitoring, phone monitoring, supervising, or some of them on bond. They also tell us this, quote, the releases required by court decisions account for a disproportionate number of the serious crimes listed in the report. For example, mandatory releases account for over 75% of the homicides listed. So obviously the first question for me is, you know, we need to track back those decisions. And I know the Supreme Court has had some decisions on, prison overcrowding and that kind of thing. I think this is a different situation. But also that leaves 25% of the murderers who weren't deported or weren't allowed out of jail because ICE was forced to let them out.
Think about it, Shannon. 50 murderers were released by discretionary decisions of the Obama administration. Let's assume that what they're saying is true, and frankly it isn't. I'll get that in a minute. But 50 murderers, how many of the rapists, how many of the burglars were discretionary releases? But they aren't telling the whole truth. This Congress, the Democrats in Congress, have been blocking a fix to this problem for years. They could fix it so you don't have to release these people. So anybody that was released because of a court decision, it's because the Democrats in Congress won't fix the problem.
All right, so what is the fix, and why can't lawmakers be called on the carpet, called out publicly, take a vote on this, let's fix it?
Well, the way to fix it is to stop releasing criminals into the general public. That's the first thing that the Obama administration should do. Stop releasing 36,000 criminals a year. Keep them in detention. Get them out of the country. Go back to the policies of every other administration until the Obama administration and deport illegals who are here in the nation illegally. Get them back home where they belong. That's the way to fix this. It's not to send them into Main Street and your neighborhoods, these hardened criminals.
Well, and we know, and we've watched, and you have tracked heavily, a lot of discretion with prosecutorial decisions that have come down through various departments and, you know, through the administration. I mean, it's fair to say these are their decisions about giving prosecutors discretion and telling ICE agents not to arrest certain people who they find here illegally. It resulted in a lawsuit by ICE agents who said, you're asking us to violate our constitutional oath that we've taken to, when we find people here illegally, that is a crime in itself. We should be able to arrest them and deport them. What is your overall feeling about the attitude from this administration about these situations?
Make no mistake, this is not an accident. This is reflective of an ideological worldview. This is a product of agitation by racial interest groups, particularly pro-open borders groups, to stop deportations. This is not merely an oversight that someone lost the key to the jail. This is a deliberate effort to placate an activist base. And so this is no accident, Shannon.
All right. And as we said, ICE has essentially not denied these accounts at all, but tried to explain them. J. Christian Adams, always good to see you.
You too, Shannon.